Hey, are you talking about back in the day?
Nah, man. I'm talking about back in the day.
Back in the day. Back in the day. Back in the day. Back in the day.
Joining us is Mr. Alfred Kainga, comedian on the Back in the Day podcast from Comedy Central.
Yeah.
Heart of the City, right? Now, have you done shows with Kevin Hart as well, or just that show?
Well, I did that show.
Okay.
And then they picked me up for third season.
Okay.
So I was able to work with him twice.
Okay.
But that was the first time that I'd ever worked with him, the first time. I
first
worked
time.
with people around him.
Okay.
And that's how they put the word to him about me.
And so that show is kind of just finding comics from a different local scene. Is that kind of the point of it?
So Heart of the City is basically Kevin going to each city in the country, that are known for comedy and finding 3 or 4 of the best up and coming comics in that city.
Okay.
And then putting them on a showcase and letting the world see what they got.
Nice. And is that kind of from that show, is that when your career just kind of took off, or was it already starting to build, and then, or what was that? How did that?
I think my career at that point was already starting to boom.
Okay.
I was already on tour with several big headliners.
Okay.
And so just that show putting me on TV, it elevated me to the next stage.
Yeah.
So that's when I started getting a lot of international bookings.
Okay.
I got that international. It really helped me internationally. The fact that I am from Africa was one thing, but for the African audience and the international audience to get to see me, it was like, whoa, who's this dude? And so now I had promoters from all over the place, Jamaica, Dubai, England, saying, hey, we need you to come out, and that really helped me because of just that one show.
Yeah, because you've got now, instead of just people seeing you at shows or seeing like an Instagram post or a YouTube thing, it's a massive network just putting your stuff on there.
Absolutely. Because what's funny is, me being from Zimbabwe, right? I would tell people back home, like, yo, I'm really doing this. I'm a comedian. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Africans,
Good job, Alfred.
Africans don't believe shit until they see shit. So when they finally saw that show, it was like, yo, we already knew this dude was doing it.
That's our boy.
That's our, what I mean? And it was like, damn, I spent 10 years trying to tell you, and now you're jumping on board, which is great. That's what human nature is all about anyway.
Talk to me about Zimbabwe. Okay,
Yeah.
so growing up, so you came to how old were you when you came to the States?
19 years old.
And you came to the DFW?
Came to the DFW. Actually, I was living in a small country town called Gainesville, Texas.
Oh, I know Gainesville.
Yeah, man.
So what brought you to Gainesville?
I have no clue, man. My mama was just trying to get me out of the house, like send him as far away as possible.
So did you come here for, did you always want to come to the States? Like talk to me about like,
you know what's
how that
crazy,
happened.
man? Growing up in Zimbabwe is a very modern country, right? We were colonized by the British, so we got everything. I really didn't want to leave home.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I really wanted to go to South Africa, which is right next door to us. And I got friends in South Africa. I got cousins in South Africa. So that's why I wanted to go to college. And my mother was not having it. Like, what? That's nothing but a party city over there.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you
to Gainesville, where the real party's at.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, what? The States? I ain't trying to hear that, especially Dallas.
Yeah.
Man, redneck cowboys, what? That's what we knew.
Yeah, that's what
I'm
you
like,
thought.
No,
that it was...
yeah, that's what we thought. So I'm like, nah, I'm not trying to go there. But she pushed, and her word was final. So I was like, okay, fine. Got to Gainesville for school, for college, North Central Texas College. Shout out, and my journey in America started. So in the year 2000. I'm in college, and I'm always making people laugh, in school. And I was already doing it back home and in high school.
Okay.
So I already knew I had this talent of making people laugh. Then one of my homeboys, he told me, he said, Alfred, man, you need to get on stage. You could really, really do it.
Yeah.
And I was scared. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Then I watched the original Kings of Comedy. Came out, I think, in 2001, 2002. Man, changed my whole perspective. I was like, dude, if I can just be half of what these dudes are doing, I can do this. But it didn't take me until 2005 for me to really
actually
get
into it and really do
it.
it. So talk to me about this. So when you moved to Gainesville, went to junior college.
Yeah.
What were you studying to do?
Marketing.
Marketing?
Yeah.
So did you finish the marketing degree?
I wish I should have,
Because now you could be using that.
You know what I'm saying? But here's the crazy thing, though. Here's what I've learned. I was in college for 2.5 years.
Uh-huh.
Then I moved from the junior college to UNT.
Okay.
And I was like, man, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I
Is
feel
this
like
really worth it?
Yeah, because at that point now I'm working a job that was making me good money.
Yeah.
And now I'm really wanting to pursue this career thing. Then somebody told me, put it in my head, like, dude, you know that if you do 3 years of sales, you really got a master's degree in marketing.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
You know what I mean?
People
So I was like, sold.
Yeah. You're like, hey, man, you got the PhD by the time you do 5 years. People calling you Dr.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, shit, let's go. Because he was trying to get me a job in sales.
Okay.
So I jumped in, man. I started selling vacuum cleaners.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Door-to-door vacuum
You know
cleaners.
what the big thing was when I was in high school? People would sell knives.
Knives,
everyone was
yeah,
like, hey, man,
Costco.
what are you trying to cut? You want to
A
like come in the
penny?
door? It's like, hey, first of all, don't walk up to my door, point knives at me. Like I don't think that's a good sales pitch. Hey, what do you want to cut? Hopefully not me, right? Like, can we just text about this?
That's
like,
funny.
chill out. Like, how was that feeling when you moved though from Zimbabwe to Gainesville? Was it a complete total culture? Because I'll tell you this, I moved. So I went to junior college out in West Texas.
Okay.
Right? Which is a lot different than the DFW, right?
Right.
So that's where I'm from. And that was a complete culture shock. Well, that was only 4 hours. You
Right.
moved across everything.
Oceans. Yeah, man.
How was that feeling? I mean, I remember feeling this isolation. How were you feeling going all the way to
Completely
Africa?
isolated. I mean, I'm the only person out of my whole family who's out here,
Okay.
It was rough back then. And back then, you had to buy like a $5 phone card and scratch it off and put that pin on your phone to be able to call international.
Okay. Yeah, so you're like not calling them very often.
Dude,
There was no Facebook.
Yeah, there was no Facebook, no Instagram, none of that. No video calling, no WhatsApp, nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, completely isolated, man. I remember the first Thanksgiving, my homeboy and I, we had Whataburger. We had Whataburger, man. We had no turkey. Nobody even invited us.
Was
to
he
their-
from the States too?
No,
or no? Okay.
he was from back home as well.
Okay.
And we met here.
Okay.
And then we just became buddies, man. He was like, dog, this is the last time we're going to have Whataburger for Thanksgiving. I'm making friends this semester.
That's the goal. Forget our GPA. The goal is Thanksgiving. The goal
Thanksgiving
is
and
Thanksgiving,
Christmas.
2001. Thanksgiving's going to be let off.
And sure enough, we never had a lonely Thanksgiving ever since, man. We're getting, these chicks, man. It was crazy. They would invite us to their crib for Thanksgiving. Man, I had so many Thanksgiving with so many families. I know some of them had it looking. You remember that picture in the movie with the dude who used to play football and he got adopted by the white family? And they sent a picture to their grandfather. Said, hey, do you realize you got a Negro boy in your
Blindside.
picture? I was that guy.
Yeah.
Every Thanksgiving,
Hey.
I'm in some family, dude. I'm the darkest motherfucker.
It's like we're coming up. Like
Yeah.
it's like,
It was crazy, man. So yeah, wild stories, bro. Wild stories.
in Zimbabwe, so you said modern country, everything's pretty. Was it more westernized than other parts of Africa?
More westernized, yeah, because we were colonized by the British until 1980.
Okay.
So they didn't leave; they're still there. And the economy was booming then.
Okay.
Like even in the late into the 90s, it was incredibly great when we went to school. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we grew up in a system where we had electricity, we had running water. I mean, I used to be running late to catch the school bus to go to the same thing
as here,
you know what I
basically,
mean?
right?
Yeah.
Like-
But then once the economy tanked, things really, really changed, and we had a little bit of a dictatorship situation.
Was that during like the late 90s? Was that the Great Congo War?
We were never involved
involved with that. Never
No.
came to Zimbabwe. 'Cause
No,
I know
no.
tons of countries are involved with that, right?
Oh, absolutely. And as a matter of fact, Zimbabwe did send some troops up there back in the late 90s, but the war never came to us.
Okay.
Yeah, our situation was more economic.
Okay.
They were mismanaging the country, and so the country went into like what you would call like maybe a Great Depression. The dollar value went down, and so that's the panic that a lot of families face. Like people were like, "Let's get out of here."
Is that a reason do you think that your mom was kind of like, let's push you to the States?
100%, absolutely, because her plan was, you go first, and then, I'm waiting for your brother and your sister to finish high school. As soon as they're done, we following. So my mom ended up getting a better opportunity for a job in Australia.
Okay.
So 3 years later, she moved to Australia with the rest of the family, and that's where
Okay.
they at. So a lot of families who were able to move out, man, in the late 90s, they got out of there.
Just bounced. Completely.
Bounced. Some went to South Africa, some went to Australia, some went to England, and some right here in the States.
Okay. When you were growing up, what's the school system like in Zimbabwe? Is it like here where it's like K through K through 5th grade is elementary school, then it's 6th through 8th grade is middle school, and then there's high school?
It's very
kind of similar to that.
It's very similar, but it's more British. It's
Okay.
more British based. What exactly what the British school systems do? That's what we do. As a matter of fact, our exams that we used to take were from Oxford and Cambridge.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So whenever the paper came in, you would see it, like you'd be like, okay, Oxford exam, da 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 da. So we had the first 7 years is what they call primary school.
Okay.
From 1st grade to 7th grade. Then after that, you go to your freshman high school
Okay.
For the first 4 years.
Okay.
If you pass that, they call that ordinary level.
Okay.
Then you were able to advance to 2 more years of high school, which is what they call advanced high school.
Okay.
So you all in all, you would spend 6 years in high school
Okay.
and 7 years in elementary.
In
or
elementary,
yeah, there
it's
you
middle
go.
school, like
So
that.
a total of 13 years.
Same
in
same
school.
exact amount of time.
Same
That's what it
exact
is here,
amount
too.
of-
12,
exactly.
12, 13 years.
There
you're
you
done,
go.
Move on to college or
There you go.
do whatever it is that you're going to do.
But for me, it was more like 14 because I flagged 1 year, so I had to be sent back.
You stay here for a little bit, Alfred. You hang out. So
Yeah.
you moved to the States. You moved to Gainesville. You're hanging out. You're trying to get as many Thanksgiving dinners as possible.
Yeah.
Right? That's the number one goal. Are you coming back and forth to Zimbabwe at all? Or once you were here, were you just kind of here for a while?
Once I was here, I stayed, man, because it was like it's too expensive to go back
Yeah.
home at that point. You're still in college and you're still trying to get a foot in. So it was like, you stay put.
Okay.
The situation back home was really dicey. So it's
Okay.
like, why you even try to come back to visit? Just hang tight
Yeah.
and chill. And, at that point, 3 years later, my parents moved.
Okay.
So now they're in Australia. Now they're trying to get settled in. So at that point, I'm like, okay, we got to chill again.
Yeah.
For another. So it didn't take me about 10 years before I went back home to visit.
And what was the difference like?
My gosh, it was totally different now at that point. 10 years, I'm so used to the American system,
Yeah.
And now they were experiencing what they call load shedding.
Okay.
This is where you can go 24 hours with no electricity. I never experienced this while I was growing up.
Yeah.
Never. So the system has deteriorated at this point.
Yeah.
They're going 4 days straight with no water, no running water. So shit is completely effed up at this point, So it was rough.
Yeah,
It was
for
rough
sure.
going back to see that for the first time. And everybody that I grew up with, gone.
Everyone moved out.
Everybody moved out. I think I had maybe 2 friends that I knew who were still back home, but everybody was gone. It's like you coming to a totally different place altogether.
Do you talk to anybody from when you grew up with at all? Really?
Oh yeah.
Now
Oh,
you've
yeah.
been able to connect with them through Facebook,
Social
all that type of
media.
stuff.
Social media has helped a whole lot. Some
Yeah.
of them are right here in the state, but most people moved to England. Since we were colonized by the British, they were very welcoming. So most people went over there.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, we keep in touch.
So growing up in Zimbabwe, was sports a big part of your life? Did y'all play sports in school?
Yes.
Yes. What was your go-to sport growing up?
Soccer.
Soccer?
Yeah, I was a soccer star,
you,
man. Well,
defense?
I was a soccer star on the bench.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
I could warm up a bench, bro.
There you go. You know what I mean? That's probably why you're so good at getting those Thanksgiving dinners. You're like used to. Hey, I'm really good at sitting.
Yeah.
If you guys need anyone to sit at the table, call me. We'll hang out.
There you
we'll
go.
Eat your food.
There you go.
What did you play in soccer? What position?
I was what they call a utility player. That's
Okay.
basically where you can be put in defense, midfield, or strike. Now, let me
Okay.
tell you this. I went to a high school called Prince Edward High School.
Okay.
Now, this is one of the most prestigious high schools in Zimbabwe.
Okay.
So, man, they used to recruit.
Okay.
This school was all about sport, winning championships, winning track meets. That's what they did. So they would scout from different schools, different areas, the best football players, rugby players, cricket players, and brought them to this school. Some of them would get, scholarships. So I was in order for you to even make the first team, what you call the varsity team, you had to be badass. So for me to even make just the bench,
okay, I'll take that, right?
come on, because you're playing with cats who were professional soccer players. Like when they got off school, they went to their professional clubs where they were literally getting paid to play. You watch them on Sunday.
Were you living off of their coattails a little bit? Like, like you walk on, like, hey, like the practice player on the pages, like he's just on Tom Brady's, like, hey, me and Tom got 5 rings. It's like, you practice.
There you go.
You don't. Yes, they're giving you one,
right?
But you practice.
You practice. Right? You help him get better.
Yeah.
So I was an integral part.
Yeah. Hey, he doesn't get better unless Alfred's here.
There you go.
You understand that, right?
There you go.
So like walking around the school being like, I'm on the team, girl.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, but now here's the thing. My high school was an all-boys high school.
Okay.
Yeah, you're talking about 1,500 dinglings just walking around. And maybe 3 female teachers.
Yeah, so all the teachers are just like, guys, calm down a little. Everyone just back away a little bit.
But it was a big honor, man, to be on the first team of whatever field, whether you were first team rugby, because rugby is huge, since the British and cricket and then soccer. So every Friday before the weekend comes, the headmaster or the principal would announce the teams that are playing for that week. So for your name just to be called out, I mean, it was a big thing that, my name would be maybe last, but I'm still
but
there.
But they're saying your name, though, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
What did you play any other sports besides soccer?
Track. I did a little track, yeah.
Distance or speed?
Speed,
okay.
Yeah, 100-meter relays.
Nice.
That I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I could get out there.
How long did you play track or running track? Was it all
throughout high school? But I think I excelled more in my last 2 years of high school. That's where I really got into it physically. That's when I got better. Even with my soccer, man, it's like the last 2 years of high school, I was like, whoa, I can really do this shit.
I always to me, track was always the most random sport ever, because to me, what I always thought was funny about track is like, in every other sport, what's the punishment if you mess up?
Go track.
Go run.
Yeah.
Go run. Like, hey,
Run
man, you
your
late,
ass
run.
out.
Hey, you talking about run. And it's like at track, it's like, we showing up to run.
We showing
so
up.
what is the punishment in track? Hey, man, you messed up. Go do 5 free throws.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
Like, hey, you messed up. You late one more time. Go work on your overhand serve.
There
why?
You go.
I don't know why am I doing this. We can't get you to run. That's what we're gonna do later.
Hilarious. Right? Yeah, you're right.
Talk to me, man. Okay, so podcast called Back in the Day, right? I want to know, what is your greatest athletic achievement from back in your day?
From back in the day.
Okay,
so this one dude was like a big star on the team.
Okay.
He got hurt. He couldn't go on this trip. So we drove like a good 5-hour trip, man, to go play this school. The school was out in the country. We get out there and the coach pulls me to the side. He said, Alfred, you the guy today. And I'm like, what? He said, yes, man. So I'm lacing up and everybody cheer me on like, yo, you're doing it today. You're doing it. Because, I was always, the funny dude.
Yeah.
I'm always getting everybody hyped up.
Yeah.
So now to get this whole feeling from the team, like, yo, this is your day today, Alfred. Hey, let me tell you something. I laced up and I bowled out.
What's the crowd like? Is there a big crowd? Is there a lot of people there? There's
pretty much their whole high school. Our opposition team's whole high school is the audience, because our school couldn't travel that far. Okay. It was a good 5-6 hours.
So parents aren't there.
Our parents,
Your parents aren't there?
Yeah, but let me tell you something, man. African parents don't care.
They don't give a shit about soccer.
They don't give a shit about sport completely. Just go and learn. That's what we sent you to school for. You'd be like, but Dad, I got a good game. What game? Did I send you to school to play games?
So they're the opposite of, remember, like, are you a big college football fan?
Yeah.
You remember the Ohio State quarterback a few years ago got in trouble because he tweeted out, he's like, I don't know why we have to go to class. We didn't go to class to learn,
right?
Or we go to class to football,
or
something, or whatever. And I was like, what?
Yeah,
no, you going to class? Like, who cares about my GPA?
So the high school that I went to, we were pretty mixed. I think we were like, half black African kids and half white African kids.
Okay.
So when sport came, bro, it was the white parents
that showed up.
Oh yeah, all day. I mean, supporting. They would bring us snacks too, because they. they knew our parents.
Don't give a shit. They're like, we'll bring some pencils.
Yeah. So I'm out there, man, and I bowled out. It was dope. I scored 2 goals,
Okay.
and I had 2 assists.
Now, when that's going on, are you just, as the game is going on, are you getting cockier and cockier? Like, right? Because you're known for the guy that's on the bench and
You're
just
right.
kind of cuts up and just kind of maybe talks a little bit.
Right.
But you probably don't have too much confidence in your game, right? Because you're not playing all the time. But that first goal happens, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alfred's in the game a little bit.
Right.
And
So-
then by the end of the game,
And you know what, Michael? You're right, because when I was on the field, man, I hardly spoke because, I'd be so nervous.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to focus on doing the right thing. But as the game progressed, I'm the one who ended up like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Bring that ball over. I'm talking shit now,
yeah, you're just like, hey, we're not in that position right now.
Yeah.
You shut up. What did we learn in practice last
I'm
week?
doing the coach's signs,
Yeah.
when nobody understands what you're talking about. I was making those signs now,
And
those
everyone's like,
signals.
why are you acting serious now, Alfred?
Right.
Don't you remember in practice when we were practicing? Alfred, you were just eating orange
Come on,
slices,
man. I got cocky, man. I got really, really pumped up, but it was a dope feeling because even the whole way back home, everybody was just hyped up.
Yeah.
Like, yo, bro, you killed it today.
Did that
You
change
killed
the
it.
career after that, or any more playing time? Or?
Oh, yeah, I got playing time. I got more playing time. Didn't go as good. The next weekend, you know what I mean? And but I was just grateful to be able to get that playing time, man. The playing time was dope, even if it was 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I cherished that, because this was my senior year.
That's
I was
awesome.
out of there. So, I had a great senior year, man, of my team.
Well, the hard part about that probably is that y'all are playing 5-6 hours away. So it's an awesome feeling. So it's
Yeah.
kind of what you talked about with earlier with me and you were talking about with comedy, right? Where you're like, everyone was like, you're like, yeah, sure, Alfred. Sure, you did that. So you get back to the school, and I don't know if y'all heard about.
You heard about
2
it.
goals, 2 assists.
Yes.
And I-
Everybody was talking about like, okay, then we're gonna come see you next week because next weekend game is home game.
Hey, signs in the stands.
Yes,
People showing,
man.
cheering
People
you on.
showing up, and then it didn't go so good. Like, what happened to last week?
You got to come on the road. I'm better on the road. I see what happened is I play a lot better on the road.
Yeah, the drive, the altitude,
Yeah.
different. I don't know what's wrong with this pitch here at the school, but when I'm away, I'm killing it, man.
When you moved here, were you a part of like any intramural teams? Like,
Oh yeah,
play
yeah.
sports?
As a matter of fact, I play. There's this semi-pro team in Gainesville, Texas, that I qualified for. I played for many seasons, man, until I had a car wreck and it busted my knee.
Okay.
In 2006, and that's when I stopped.
You stopped that
But
completely.
yeah. I kept playing for a long time.
that's cool, man. Because you hear like a lot of people, they'll just completely stop doing
No.
anything that they've worked on.
I loved
all
the
that
game.
time.
I loved the game a lot. Yeah, I played, man, and this team had South Americans. It was either Salvadorans, Mexicans, and I was the only black dude there too. Now, you know what I mean. So it was really really cool. So I was like the mascot and the token brother. You know what I mean?
We can't keep up with him. Why is he so fast?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because I was running. Yeah, speed. I had that. So
And
they
in
needed me on that team. It was dope.
And in Gainesville, they hadn't seen a lot of black people, so they're just like, "What is this?"
Exactly. Oh man, they wanted to take pictures and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like-
Let me tell you something. I got a lot of ass in Gainesville, Texas. back
Really?
in the
'Cause
day.
it was-
what the accent and the
The accent, something new,
something different.
maybe pissing dad off a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why there's girls who used to invite us to Thanksgiving
Yeah.
dinners, man, just to piss off their dad.
Oh, you don't want to get me the new Ford Mustang? Here's my new boyfriend, Alfred.
Yes. One chick though, man, she told me, I'll never forget this. I don't know if we off topic or not, but we just
You're
rambling, right? Brought me to her crib, man. And we had a good time. Blonde hair, blue eye, beautiful girl, right? Smashing it. The next morning, she didn't tell me this all night. The next morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, she said, yo, you gotta bounce. I said, why so early? She said, my dad, because now I'm thinking, what, you got a boyfriend or something? She said,
Yeah.
no, my dad comes to check on me every morning on the weekend, and he's in the Aryan Brotherhood. I'm like, what? She said, you got to go. 6 o'clock in the morning, bro. Out of there. out of there. It's a true story.
You go out the front door, or did you go out the back?
No, front door, because she had her own little crib that she was renting at that point, man. And her father I think lived 2 blocks down. This is in the country.
Yeah.
This is like in the Callisburg is the name of this little joint. It's
Okay.
like 20 miles outside of Gainesville in the boonies.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta get off a dirt road. I mean, I've done it. Come on now. You hanging out with country folks when you play CB tag. You ever heard of that shit? That's where you play hide and seek with fucking trucks.
Okay.
It don't get countryer than that. I know.
Dude, I told you I went to West Texas.
Yeah.
And I remember the first couple of weeks while I was there, I was like, what are we going to do? What do we do? And they're like, you want to go do a drag? I was like, what is a drag? And they're just like, well, that's where we get a case of beer, put that case of beer in the truck, and we drive around and we drink that case of beer. I was like, no, that's a DWI. We don't play that game where I come from. It has nothing to do. We play another game called Rabbit. Like, y'all want to go play this game called Rabbit? And we just drive around. Whoever found a rabbit first, you say Rabbit.
Wow.
Cool game.
Wow.
Well, so
yeah, that's country, man.
Yeah,
that's
it's
country.
interesting life, man.
It is. It was totally different.
So you're in Gainesville, moved to Denton. When do you jump into comedy? 2006?
2005.
And so are you doing comedy? Where are you doing it at?
Open mic, man. My first open mic was at Hyenas in Arlington.
Okay.
It's now called the Brick House.
Yeah.
Back in the day, right? So I called him up because now at this point now I got confidence. People are telling me at work every time, man, yo, dude, you got to do this. You got to do this. So I called him up and I said, hey, man, I heard you guys do open mic. And the dude was like, yep, we do. You come every Wednesday, I believe it was.
Yeah, it was Wednesday nights.
And we'll give you 3 minutes. I said, 3 minutes? I said, man, I got 30.
I got a lot to say.
I was offended. I said, 3 minutes?
Do you not know? Have you talked to my coworkers?
You know what I mean? And I know he had to be laughing. He's like, son, have you ever been on stage? I said, no, but I got 3 minutes. Don't sound like a lot, man. He said, just come on over here and do your 3 minutes. So I had a whole week to prepare. So I'm practicing in my mirror. I started writing the shit down, man. I'm putting my clock on there and I'm timing. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, you know when you do, and 3 minutes. I'm like, okay, practice again. 3 minutes. Man, my 3 minutes is tight. So I go out there and they told me, oh, sign up at 7 o'clock. Man, I get up there probably 6:30 or some shit.
I'm ready.
I sign up. There's literally no names on the book,
Yeah,
right?
you're number one.
I'm number one.
You're like 703. I'm
so
going
you
up.
think,
Yeah.
right? Welcome to the comedy world. So I get up there. Next thing you know, people are trickling in. I'm ready. I'm like, I'm going to go out first. I go back to that sign sheet an hour later. And my name is number 24. I'm like, what the fuck happened?
Bumped.
And it was like, look, man, this is how it works in the comedy game. You think I'm going to put you before I put Cowboy Bill? I'm like, who the fuck is Cowboy Bill?
And they're getting mad at you. Like, you don't know Cowboy Bill.
Exactly. So all these veterans, they get up there, man, and they bump you. And the room was nice when I got there. By the time I got on stage, man, it's probably midnight.
Did you bring people with you?
No.
Okay.
Well, one person.
One person with
me. And so it was that one person, myself, and 2 other comics who were going to go up after me.
Okay.
That's all that's left at this point. you feel deflated. It's midnight. Remember, I got here about 6 hours
You've
ago.
been here for hours, and you probably worked that day.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I get up on them, man, and I did my thing. And, 2 claps. Woo! I got off stage. I went back to him. I said, hey, man, the manager. I said, how did I do? He said, how did you do, man? You only up there for 60 seconds. I'm like, what? 60 seconds? He said, yeah, you said you wanted more than 3 minutes. That's 60 seconds. I said, man, I've been practicing all that shit all week for 3 minutes, and I only did it in 60 seconds. So I understood I had to learn. You know what I mean? There was a lot to be learned. So I kept going back. Next thing you know, number 24 becomes number 10. Number 10, now it's like you're in the hot spot. Number 5, number 3, and now things are rolling. Next you know, another guy says, hey, man, I got a show, $25. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? So that's how it started, man. Many nights of open mic. I think I did open mic for 6 months before I even got my first showcase or nothing. And I didn't get paid, to be honest with you, until maybe 2008.
Okay.
Was the first show I ever did where I got $25.
And you were like, yes.
Yeah, finally. You know?
You know.
But my first thought was in the first 6 months, I was like, yo, I'm going to be a star in 6 months. Shit, I'm going to be flying in a jet. Hollywood going to come calling me.
When did you quit full-time other work, your day job?
2013.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what were you doing at that point? What type of work?
I was
marketing,
in
sales?
marketing. Yeah, I was in marketing. So I was like, okay, so now at this point, I think it's good for me to venture out and do this whole comedy thing full time. You know.
Because at that point, were you traveling a lot, and that's why you had to make the decision? Like, it's like I got to get out of here.
Yeah, because the year before that, I had done I think 18 countries in like 3 months. You know.
Okay.
And then I just started like, yo, I gotta get this. I gotta get going here.
What's the coolest place you feel like you've been to?
In the world?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man! I've seen
Comedy-wise.
some amazing places. It was an incredible experience in Jamaica. I was able to do 2 shows, and this really shocked me. Sold out both shows. One was in Montego Bay, and the other one was in Kingston, Jamaica, and 1,200 people plus in each venue, and both were sold out. And I had to ask them literally, like, do they know who they came to see? Is this for me or some kind of? And they were like, yeah, Alfred Kainga, man, African man, funny as fuck, And it was like, whoa.
And this was when was that?
2 years ago.
Okay.
2 years ago. That was one of the best shows I've ever done, man. The reception was incredible. And I've always grown up loving reggae music.
Okay.
It's always been close to my heart. So going to Jamaica and feeling that and seeing that experience, oh, man, it was dope. It was really dope.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of cool places too. Cape Town, South Africa was incredible. It was a nice experience as well there,
Have you been home to do comedy?
Oh, yeah. My first show in Zimbabwe was in 2017. And it was an amazing homecoming.
Okay.
Yeah, so I since then, I try to go back every year to do a show. This year we're supposed to do it. COVID done messed it up, so yeah.
And you telling me earlier, everything has been canceled, right? For the rest of the year?
Everything for the rest of the year has been canceled. As a matter of fact, I was supposed to be filming my special in South Africa this year, but we holding on. So now we don't know when that's going to happen. Because I told him I want to do my first special. It's got to be in Africa. It's got to be back home. I don't care what country, but it's got to be back home.
Are you doing an hour?
I'm doing an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that'll get pushed back, but it's still going to happen. So that's the good thing.
Definitely, definitely.
What have you been doing to kind of keep busy since there's no comedy?
I got into the cocaine business,
Okay, there you go.
I watched this show called Queen of the South on Netflix. I said, sign me up, man. Get me a bag and chop it up. We're going to do something. I said, run me to Mexico. I'll be the mule,
Yeah. So let me ask you this, man. So you tell me the greatest athletic achievement is when. Now, did he get hurt? Is that what happened?
Yeah, he was hurt, so he couldn't travel.
You sabotaged him so that you could play, right?
Yeah.
So he gets hurt, you get some playing time, you get those 2 goals, 2 assists. That's your greatest athletic achievement growing up. What's the most athletic thing or greatest athletic achievement you've had in the past 6 to 12 months?
What?
Yeah.
Not a damn thing. Whoa. Okay. Let me back it up. So, last year I went through this whole transformation, right? I used to weigh 285 pounds. Yeah. So I started working out, cutting back on eating a lot of stuff, and I lost a lot of pounds. So I lost 83 pounds the first round. Then quarantine came around and I gained 30 back. Okay. So I'm in a deficit right now. I understand. So about 2 months ago, there was this challenge that was going on. This dude challenged me and said, hey, dude, you got to do the PTSD challenge. Okay. 25 push-ups for 25 days to bring awareness for the PTSD. Okay. I was like, yeah, I'm in. Greatest achievement. Because that shit was not easy. That shit was tough, man.
Day one, you're like 6 push-ups through. It's like, oh, your boys got this.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Let me tell you what I did on day one. Okay. I set my camera at an angle to where they couldn't see my knees were on the floor.
and you're looking at the camera talking. We are getting rid of PTSD today, folks.
I'm talking a lot of shit. But even with my knees on the floor, number 12 was hard as fuck. I'm like, what the fuck did I get myself into? I can't even do this shit with my knees on the ground.
What day did you get off the knees?
The next day.
The next day, you were like...
Because my fans, bro, they went in. Oh, that shit don't count. We can't see
so they
your
can see your knee. Like you thought you were doing really good at editing, but
like,
it was just a close up on your knees.
On my
like it's just a clear. Like this is what I'm gonna do. The camera moved a little bit.
They were like, nah, man, we gotta see your whole body, dude. Because otherwise this ain't gonna count.
Well, this is a close up just on your face, Albert.
So really, I did 24 days, okay? Because the first day, hey, I was on my knees. So, hey, I made it up, man, but I did it consistently. 24 days straight up push-ups, man. 25. And I did it. I knocked it out. So now I keep doing it.
Still doing 25?
Yeah,
Have you upped
man.
it up at all?
Oh, yeah. So now I do like 4 sets of 20
Okay.
in a day because I'm trying to get to a point where I can do 100.
Win one set.
In one set.
Okay.
I'm not there yet.
What are you at? What's the max you're doing right now?
40.
That's-
I can
hey.
do 40 straight, man.
And that was
Keep
only
pushing.
2 months ago. That's a big accomplishment.
Yeah. So now I've already lost some of that weight, so
Yeah.
I'm getting back because my goal is to be at 200 pounds.
Yeah.
So now I'm like at 227.
Okay.
So I still got a long way to go.
That's all right.
But-
27 pounds, you can knock that out.
Yeah,
in
in
few
a couple of months. Yeah.
Well, hey man, this has been a lot of fun. Where can we find you? Where can people find you?
At my house right now. Shit, man.
Come over, wear a mask.
Yeah, we can do a show in my living room, man. Just cash app me or something because it's a little tight, Now, I'm on Instagram. I'm on all social media platforms. So it's Alfred Kainga. It's spelled ALFRED. Now I gotta be careful. This is because when my African people listen, they can't stand it when you say Kainga. They're like, what is he talking about? What is a Kainga? Because the name is supposed to be Kainga.
Kainga.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's how you pronounce it. So it's ALFREDKAINGA. That's on Instagram. Same on Twitter.
Okay.
Same on Facebook.
Okay.
Plenty of fish.
Okay.
Black people meat. Farmersmeat.com.
Okay,
I'm on all of
what's
them.
your Bumble?
Same shit. Okay.
Okay.
I'm trying to catch something.
Okay. You ever post on the Craigslist one where you're trying to meet like
Oh, wow. Craigslist. That got shot down too, huh?
did it? I don't know.
I think so too. Yeah, and Backpage.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember a couple of girls used to be on Backpage.
Yeah.
Boy, man,
Not anymore. They're
done
dead
some
now,
shit.
right?
Yeah,
They got
man.
something. We thought when my wife and I, we used to live in this condo up in North Dallas, and I used to tell my wife, I was like, this lady that lived like catty corner to us, I was like, that lady is for sure a Craigslist hooker.
No kidding.
And she was like, what are you talking about? I was like, I'm telling you. I was like, all hours of the day, dudes
Yeah.
are coming in and out of that apartment all the time, just coming in and out. I was like, and she's like, you're so stupid. I was like, I'm telling you, check it out, pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Sure enough, she got evicted one day. And I was like, they got her. You know what I mean? They got her. But okay, so Alfred Kainga.
Kainga.
All right, on Instagram, if you can see us, we got the shirts.
We got the shirts on. Yeah, man. You got to buy the shirt, people.
We didn't plan this.
I
We
know.
didn't plan this,
I
but
know.
That's awesome, dude. You guys can follow me at Mike P on Instagram, Michael Pasvar on Facebook, and I don't really tweet, but Instagram at Mike P, at Alfred Kainga.
Dude,
This
thanks
has
for
been
having
so
me,
much
man.
fun.
You funny brother, man. I enjoy
Yeah.
working with you for real. So
dude.
yeah, keep pushing it, man. This is dope.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Can't wait to work with you again.
Much
All right,
love,
dude.
brother.
Back in the day.